Keeping our eyes closely on Hurricane Beryl as the now Category 2 storm takes aim at Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. This storm has lost some strength as it heads over the western Caribbean with winds of 110 miles an hour. Still, however, poses a danger with the storm surge and damaging waves expected to hit the Yucatan coast tomorrow morning. This storm was a powerful Category 3 when it ripped across the Caribbean, leaving a path of destruction. The Caymans now assessing all of the damage after getting slammed with heavy rain and storm surge earlier today. Jamaica also pounded, the strongest storm to hit that island nation in more than 15 years. Damage in Grenada, too. This new video shows the piles of destruction left behind after the storm pummeled that island. Officials there are promising to rebuild better and stronger. The National Hurricane Center is forecasting the storm to emerge in the Gulf of Mexico tomorrow night. The storm's rains and winds not expected to reach the U.S. until sometime early next week. Parts of South Texas, however, will be feeling the impacts, and some of that has already started. That is where we find our Allie Bradley live with the latest, and we can see the wind has already begun to pick up ahead of this storm. Hey, Allie.
Yeah, hey, Marnie, of course, a big question. Will it hit Texas, and at what strength if that category hurricane does actually make landfall? So the state, of course, preparing for the worst, hoping for the best here. So what we know here about Hurricane Beryl is that it has moved through the Caribbean. It has wreaked havoc on many different areas, but the state of Texas, of course, preparing for it to hit as a tropical storm. Of course, that can always change. Now, according to the National Hurricane Center, while the Category 2 hurricane is forecast to weaken as it continues its path, potentially reaching the Texas Gulf Coast Monday morning. So the Texas Division of Emergency Management saying that people do need to have preparedness as their top priority here, and that while this storm might weaken ahead of making landfall, the state does anticipate that things could take a turn, quite literally.
We do expect when it enters those warm Gulf waters, we do expect it to start to intensify as it makes that kind of northerly path up towards the Texas coast. So we're preparing for that potential impact. And right now we're preparing for either a Category 1 or Category 2 at landfall. But again, there's still a lot of uncertainty on the exact track and the exact intensity, but we're going to be prepared no matter what.
Okay, so you can see the exact track that hurricane is on right now as we give you a live look at that satellite imagery right now. And you can see Cameron County, that's the southernmost point of Texas. That's an area that we're keeping an eye on because they have issued a voluntary evacuation notice for some people ahead of this storm. Now, Judge Eddie Trevino saying, quote, "At this time, we are not requiring guests to evacuate, but want to make sure all precautionary measures are taken in case the storm's current track remains accurate." So the Texas Department of Emergency Management posting to X saying, quote, "A warning for anyone visiting this area is that the storm starts to enter the Gulf of Mexico. They want people to be aware of high tides and rough surf and the rip currents and the threats that those pose," saying follow instructions from lifeguards and posted signs, never swim alone, and stay at least 100 feet away from piers and jetties. Now, Texas Governor Greg Abbott has increased the level of readiness here, Marnie. He has activated several different resources to be ready for deployment should this storm make landfall. We're talking about several different agencies, including up to 1,000 National Guard soldiers that will be deployed here for rescue and recovery efforts down there should that be needed. Now, of course, we will get another official update later on tonight around 11 o'clock. So be sure to stick with NewsNation for those updates. But Marnie, that's what we're looking at right now is that hurricane is at a Category 2 right now. Marnie.
All right, we'll be looking for that later tonight. In the meantime, have a plan, be ready to execute it. Allie, thank you for that.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.